Hi, my name is Fipa. Welcome to my channel Awkward, where I provide parents with the encouragement, knowledge, tools, and skills to provide adequate, mindful sexual education so that you're able to answer your kids' awkward questions about bodies, feelings, and sex. Today's topic is the 10 truths your kids need to know about their bodies. So number one, they must know that their body is important and special, and that they're able to say no whenever they feel uncomfortable and whenever somebody tries to approach them in a way that makes them feel sad or angry or embarrassed. Tip number two is that no one can hurt their body, and they cannot hurt the body of anyone else. So it is important that we talk to children about body protection rules, but we must not leave out the idea that the kids that we take care of cannot infringe on the body safety of other kids, right? It is too easy to say, oh, I want to protect you and nobody can hurt you. But it is important to also instill this idea of reciprocity, where they cannot hurt other people either, right? So number three, the third thing that kids must know about their bodies is that they have parts of the bodies that are private, that nobody can see and nobody can touch, except for the safe circle, the people in the safe circle. So the people that you have designated that are allowed to see your child naked and are able to help them with hygiene that includes touching their genitals. And you must explain that even though there are people, and then you name the people that are allowed to help your kid with their hygiene and touch their private parts, you must explain to them that this touching is quick, fast, and painless, so that they understand what kind of touch it is. So if you have very young children that are still in diapers, for example, you maybe want to narrate what you are doing when you are changing their diapers. So here you wanna when you're cleaning them, you're telling them, this is I don't know, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna change your diaper because you have a poopy or you have a lot of wee, and we do this so that you don't get a rash, and we're going to clean your poop, and this is your vagina, and this is how it should be cleaned. And why is this important? Because your child may not understand language when they're very, very young, when they're babies, but they understand the touch that you're giving them, how you are treating them, and how you are caring for them. It is important because it is a way of teaching consent from a very early age. And consent is a skill, right? It is something that has to be practiced, because a lot of times we do things that infringe on other people's consent, and people do that to us, and we don't think much of it because it is a very small thing. But it is in these very small acts that we must start to exercise this idea of consent, right? And also it gives the child a sense of routine. Do you have to do this every single time? No, I don't think that's very practical. But it is important that you do talk to them, and this is also a good time for you to talk about genitals, their names, and their function. What else? The fourth thing your kids should know is that nobody should touch them in a way that makes them feel sad, scared, angry, afraid, embarrassed. But that if this happens, that they can say no, and if they're not able to say no and to leave, that it's okay. Because, and then it's important that we explain to kids that our bodies, sometimes when we're very afraid, they just don't respond to the things we want them to do. So we are very afraid and we want to run away, but we're not able to. We're very afraid and we want to scream and we can't. So it is important that kids understand that maybe body reaction that they have, and that they're not to be blamed for it, that this is normal. But what is important is that if anything happens that makes them feel that way, that makes them feel unsafe, that makes them feel sad or just weird, or with a tightness on their tummy or their heart, that they come and talk to you or an adult in the safe circle that you have designated, and that they're able to talk to somebody that can help them. It's also important that kids know that it is not okay to joke about other people's physical appearance or body parts, and that this can be very hurtful. It is important that kids understand that we're all different and that we look different, but this is not a reason for anybody to be mistreating anybody, right? Then we have... it is important that kids know that they can talk to you if there is anything that is wrong with their body, or they feel that something is strange. So, if they have a tummy ache, they can come and tell you. If they have a headache, that they can come and tell you. And you have to make it okay for kids to be able to tell you other things that might make them feel a bit strange. For example, if they have an itch in their genitals, that they can come and tell you, and that it's okay, and that you will help. You will help see what is wrong, and that you will take them to the doctor if need be, and that everything is going to be okay. So number 8. It is important that kids understand that boys and girls' bodies are different, and have different body parts and how they function, but that even though they have different body parts, that they are able to do everything just the same. Right? Also, it is important for kids to understand that the kids' bodies and adult bodies are different, and how they differ. So here you want to be talking about, for example, how grown women have breasts, how adults have hair under their armpits and on their genitals, that they are just, everything about them is bigger when you're an adult. So all these things are important for kids to understand, that the body is different. Something that is very important for kids to understand, especially when you have siblings of different sexes, is that, for example, up to a certain age, the boy is scared that his penis might fall off, because he knows that his sister doesn't have one and that his mom doesn't have one. Right? So it is important to reassure the child that, they are born different, and that this is normal, and what their body's development is going to look like in future. The same way, the girls might be scared that they have lost their penis, or that or they might have a hope that it still might grow. Right? So it is important that kids understand these differences, so also to calibrate their expectations of how their body is going to change over time. So what you can do here, for example, is show them their own baby pictures, and show how they have changed over time, and also take the opportunity to show them pictures of yourself when you were younger and how you have changed, and ask your child to identify differences between now and then, and how they feel about it as well. The number 9. Kids must know the basics of the internal organs. So the heart for pumping blood, for the lungs to breathe, legs for walking and running, for example. So it is important that legs are not internal organs, but it is important that they understand how basic internal organs work. So instead of the example of legs, let's take the brain, and the brain is for thinking, okay? And last, the 10th thing that kids need to know about their bodies is that every part of the body is special and that every part of the body deserves care and must be kept clean. And then you go on to explain how this is done. So you explain to them, for example, how you wouldn't touch your eyeball with dirty hands. So the genitals are also, you wouldn't do it because it's a sensitive area of the body. And for example, the genitals are also sensitive, so you wouldn't touch them with dirty hands. Or you wouldn't touch them like hard. You also can talk about teeth, how it is important to brush your teeth and why, and otherwise you get cavities or they can fall off. So it is important for your kid to understand how the body functions and how to protect it and keep it healthy and hygienic. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. So leave your comments, your likes, share, and subscribe.